Okay, so you're probably wondering, why is financial freedom so important? What's the big deal? Why do everyone want to talk about it? Besides the fact that people keep wanting it and keep investing money to do things to get it, what is ultimately behind financial freedom and why is it so important for you? And not just for you, but maybe for others as well in your life? I want to talk about that in this video right now. Okay, so why is financial freedom so important? This answer can vary as much as you do, right? It's always individual. It's always based on what you think. What I think about financial freedom, what I think is important, which I'll share today, in my opinion, it could be very different for you too. So I want to share this, but I also want to share some other people's that I've kind of gathered over the years of what they think about financial freedom. Now, how do you define financial freedom first? That's, I think, is very important because I view financial freedom a little bit different than some people. Some people, financial freedom is just being able to pay your bills every day, right? Or every month, right? You can just pay your bills, the money's in the account, that's it. Now, for some people, that's financial freedom. For others, that's not. Because they're like, well, cool, I can pay my bills, I can survive, but I want to thrive. How can I do more with that? And so they might think, well, what can I do to have more than enough money to do the things I love? For some people, it's like, how do I have millions more than what I need so I have this FU money, right? I can throw around and do whatever I want, go buy the stuff, and I just don't care. Everybody has a different story, right? I look at financial freedom as when it's more of an emotional thing that goes along with the financial numbers thing. The financial numbers is what I call financial independence, is when you do have enough money to at least pay your bills and even taxes and everything else to live month to month where you're work optional. You work because you want to, not because you have to. But financial freedom is when you have more than enough money and it becomes more of an emotional component. It's not just being able to pay your bills, but it's where money is no longer the reason or excuse that you do or do not do anything. So understand that financial freedom, I have so many people that say, well, I just want to be able to pay my bills. But when they get to that point, they don't feel any more free because they never worked on this, their mindset first, right? Is when you get to a point where you say, no, money's not the reason or excuse I do it or do not do anything. If all of a sudden you're able to pay your bills, but you're like, hey, I want to go travel to Europe right now. Maybe I want to go backpack on the Camino de Santiago. By the way, that's one of my bucket list things too. And I want to do that for the next month and a half. Well, they might say, cool, I have the ability to do it. Maybe I do, but maybe I don't have enough money to even do that. Maybe I don't have the time freedom yet to do that. Whatever it might be, right? Like to me, financial freedom is when you have really that money is not the excuse that you do or do not do anything. Like I have more than enough money coming in that Camino is not the excuse. Now for me, it's a little bit more about the time part and stage of life with kids and things like that. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to achieve it. It's not going to accomplish it here in the near future, right? And so that's where financial freedom comes in, is getting rid of that money excuse, right? That you can do anything you want because money is not the reason you don't do it. There might be other reasons, but it's not the money. So why is financial freedom so important then, right? Like what is it really? Now, like I said, there might be different definitions for you. I have some clients that they just want to be able to do their passion projects. For some of them, it's just they want to be work optional where they can literally keep working their job or their business because they love it, but they just want the ability that if they want to take off a month, they can. Some will actually go from being in the private sector, working a job all the time, full time, to then just becoming a consultant for that same company. I had one guy that worked for Amazon that literally quit to become a consultant part-time for Amazon. And so he walks away with decent sized checks, but it's on a different basis. But if he wanted to take off a month or 2 months, he could do it, right? So again, it's always different for how it looks. But I think financial freedom really is something that spills over to all aspects of your life. For example, like what does it do for your mindset, right? What does it do for your stress levels? I mean, when you know that you have enough money to always pay your bills, how does that feel? When you know you never have to worry about paying money again. You never have to worry about paying your bills again. And of course, if you have financial freedom, like I define it, right? Where you have more than enough to pay your bills and then some, then you're thinking, well, man, even if something comes out of the left field here, maybe there's some emergency that happens or something else, again, I'm not stressing for the money. I might stress based on life-threatening situations, but it's not the money that stresses me out. How does that feel, right? How about like focusing on your own spirituality, and developing yourself and growing yourself and improving yourself, even taking time for your own self-care. How many of you guys make the excuse that you just don't have enough time to be able to take care of yourself? You're just too busy focusing on everybody else, right? You're taking care of your spouse, your partner, you're taking care of your kids or your dogs, your little fur babies, whatever it might be. You just don't have enough time. You're volunteering and doing different stuff. You barely have enough time for you. Well, couldn't financial freedom give you that time freedom to get that money, to get that freedom back, that time back, to buy your time back, right? Now, for many people, they could even have the financial freedom and still not buy their time back. There's other things there, but imagine if you did have enough money so that you didn't have to use time as the reason you don't have that time for yourself, to develop yourself, to do the things you want to do. Maybe you want to go volunteer and do something more, because how has that been? Maybe you feel like you just can't do anything that you want to do. Do it for pursuing your own passions. Maybe you've been delaying it forever because you're like, I would love to do that, but again, I just don't have the money. Or I just don't have the time to do that kind of thing, to commit to it because I'm working my job or my business and it owns me. I don't own it, right? Those kind of things are coming up. Maybe your health is kind of falling victim to this, right? Maybe you've been, because of the stress levels, because of the work you've been doing, maybe your health is deteriorating. This happened to my dad. Like, my dad worked so hard. One, he went through a divorce, right? He went through a divorce, had strokes after the divorce. He had to teach himself to talk again. I didn't even know this as a kid. He hid it from us, but he had to learn to talk again. Then he also went through heart attacks in his 50s. He literally told me, he says, Chris, I'll never be able to retire because this job, the stress from this job will literally kill me. But he never felt he had the freedom to be able to leave that job. He felt like he had to just keep working for that company, be loyal to them, even when they weren't loyal to him because they would lay him off. Those kind of things, and so his body would suffer. He would gain weight from the stress. He would eat crap because he was out on the road and doing stuff, right? He wasn't focusing on his health. I'll tell you, having financial freedom, way easier to buy quality foods. That's real food, not the crap you buy in most stores right now, right? You can actually buy organic foods and things that actually help fuel your body versus take it away. I've actually de-aged in the last 10 years. Did you know that 10 years ago, even while I was working Money Ripples, but not quite financially free, did you know that 10 years ago, I was literally taking one Tylenol every other day and then one ibuprofen every other day. I was on painkillers every single day for a year because my body was so inflamed. Having financial freedom helps you get past that. You start to find, what are the things that make me healthier? This is why you see people actually almost anti-aging that have a lot of money. Whether they're wealthy, whether they're sometimes actors, some of your favorite actors, you're like, how do they do it? That's how they do it. You have financial freedom. You can buy your body back in a lot of ways. Not just your time, not just your energy. Also relationships. How much better are your relationships? Again, money isn't the excuse. I'll tell you, money solves about 90% of marriage issues. It doesn't solve all of it, but at least gets you to the core of the issues if you still have issues after you have money. It makes it better. Your relationship with your children is better. You can go do things with your kids. I love taking my kids on individual dates, for their birthdays and things like that. I even invited my daughter on her spring break to come with me to Florida while I was going on a trip, things like that. You can do those things when you have financial freedom. All of these things can be possible with financial freedom. That's why it's so important. And ultimately, here's the thing, is that you can live a fulfilling life that blesses the lives of those around you. This is why we call our company Money Ripples. It's that ripple effect. It's that as you have greater financial freedom, you stop focusing on yourself so much and you can start looking outside of yourself. You can actually create a ripple effect through your family and generations beyond you that creates amazing wealth for many, many generations to come. You also create a ripple effect in your community, the country, and ultimately across the world because you're no longer just focusing on you, you're now able to open your eyes and see what you can do to bless more lives. That is what financial freedom can do for you, and that's why it's important for me and why I'm doing this channel, even with financial freedom, so that you can have the same kind of life and create a bigger ripple effect for those around you. All right, so if you want to know how do I create that financial freedom and make it work, subscribe to our Money Ripples channel right now.